Hey everybody, this is Qtora here, and this is another video in my Digimon World 1 speedrunning tips and tricks guides. This video is to hopefully get you guys to be able to get through Mount Infinity, the last dungeon in the game, without running into any encounters, or any non-boss encounters, maybe I should say. The reason I want to focus on this area, well actually there's probably a few reasons, so we'll go through those. One, it has probably some of the hardest dodges in the game, at least in the any percent or no major glitches speedrun. Two, it is a source that maybe new players don't go through as much as the rest of the game, for example, just because inherently it's right at the end, so when you speedrun it, it is the area you'll probably get to least. And three, the other thing is that when you're on PB pace, you will start to get nervous, and it is important to be, I guess, as prepared as possible. So that's kind of what I want to focus on this. So let's start going through this. So going into the screen, you sort of want to be holding down and right. So let's start that. So what that does is it avoids this rock one here, and you basically want to carry on doing that. And you want to get to this sort of intersection here between, you'll see that the sort of map layouts are a bunch of squares. And you basically want to get to the sort of between these two squares. So you can start holding down. Where you do this doesn't really matter. You can see here I've probably gone a bit too far, so I just want to be between there. And once you are positioned there, you can hold down left. And you can squeeze through the Vermillimon. They actually don't have huge hitboxes, so if I show that in one, we'll do that again. So do that, hold down until we get there, and then we get past. Obviously, starting out, you may not want to do that, you know, in one motion. You may want to just make sure you're in the right position. So right there, I can see I am, and then squeeze through. So yeah, this next screen, you want to hold up, you want to go up and around this Pillarmon, get round, and then around here, you actually want to slightly clip into this corner. If you're too high up, say if your player character's around there, obviously you're just going to get stopped by the wall, and if you're too low, you run into the chance of just running straight into this Garurumon. And weirdly, you're kind of on a time limit, because the other Garurumon is going to sort of circle back round and reach you if you take too long. So you kind of want to do this fairly quickly. So I can see there, that's a pretty good sort of location. I can clip through the corner very slightly and get through to the other part of the screen. So again, if I show that in one motion. Okay. So if you're too far, you can sort of see what I've done there. Sorry, while I'm explaining the previous screen. You can see I sort of just adjusted my position just so I can make sure I can clip through that corner safely without triggering either of the Garurumon. So this screen here, I sort of have got a little bit ahead of myself, but this screen here you want to sort of go into holding down and then switch to down right as soon as the screen loads in. That will get you past the Rockmon really safely and consistently, and it's also the fastest way of doing it. Now there's a bunch of Pillarmon here and they're going to start moving up. If you want to do this quickly, you can sort of start holding down here, trigger them to start moving, and then get to the, sort of this part. So this whole thing is the loading zone. You want to sort of really, if you want to do it optimally, get to this part, the load, like I just did there. Alternatively, if you want to do it a bit safer, you can just carry on holding down right here and do that. So very simple screen. I'd probably recommend doing the latter first. But, you know, if you want to trigger these earlier, you can do that. And that's quite useful there. So this next screen, you can see if you don't move, these Garurumon will hit you straight away. So you need to be prepared for this one. And that's why it's always really good to practice these screens as well. So reloading into this one, you can do two dodges here. I'll show you the probably slightly easier one, but it's a bit slower first. And then I'll show you the one that I don't think is actually too hard. So I would maybe practice the second one. See if you can get it. If not, revert back to the first, but the first one's fairly simple. So you go into this screen holding right, and then down right, and then you just get past this Garurumon, and you can go round. So, super simple, but there is another one you can do. So you're going to basically hold right into it, and as soon as you can hear your own footsteps, I'm going to switch to up. You can see it's a bit tricky, but it's obviously a bit faster, but you run that risk if you're holding right for too long, like I did in that first attempt there. So, again, we do that. You can do that. So this is the last screen before Devimon. You want to hold up left, and this is the important part. This Vermillimon is sort of on a cycle. If I sort of just leave it to it, it's sort of moving in a bit of a circular, or maybe more of an S-shaped pattern, I guess you could probably say. So you want to beat its cycle. So you really want to make sure you're holding the right inputs. It's not too difficult of a screen to do, but you just want to make sure you get there before its cycle gets to the point where it'll block you. So again, hold up left, sort of hug the walls, and you can see it's far enough away from me, and we can avoid it. Then we got the Devimon fight. I'm going to load a save because we'll just avoid it. If you're doing 100 prosperity points, there will be some encounters here. However, I'm not going to show that in this video. This is more for any percent or no major glitches. If you do want to learn the dodge for 100 prosperity points, it's probably worth looking at a video of it, but I'm not going to cover it in this video. So, we'll say that we're done with Devimon. So we'll go into this teleporter, or loading zone, and I'm going to hold up and start. Now it's a weird one to do, but you can see here, it buffers the pause after me moving a little bit. Now what that means is it's going to actually draw out this Rockmon. This Rockmon is going to block you otherwise. So what it does is it draws you out. So before unpausing, I'm going to hold left, and I can just slightly clip the corner there. So if I show that again, so up and start, hold left, and avoid it that way. If for whatever reason, you know, you're too locked in, you forget, oh my god, I haven't done that. Okay, if I hold up and start now, it's not going to work. So you want to do a sort of backup dodge, and this is also a slightly safer dodge, but it is a bit slower. So what you want to do is you want to hold sort of up and right, switch to right. You kind of know when you've done it because you've slightly clipped into the wall. If you can see there, the player character is slightly inside, like his foot is inside the wall, and then you can clip past, or you can sort of get past the Rockmon, no issue. You can see it's a bit finicky, but it does work. But I would recommend probably learning the first way. If you forget about it, you can do the second way, so you can avoid it that way. Now going to this second Rockmon, this one's actually quite tricky. You basically want to get your feet up to this sort of corner and draw it out. So you can do it two ways. You can do it, if I make another save here, you can sort of draw it out by doing this. Obviously I've gone too far there, so it is a tricky dodge. Now the problem with this one, you can see that my Bakemon, or your Digimon, just a quick reminder, I should have probably mentioned this at the start of the video, it doesn't matter what Digimon you use. You can see that that's blocked it, so slight issue. We can obviously wait till it continues its movement and get past, but that's why it may be worth doing this dodge, where you're basically gonna hold down and then hold left, and it will get past it each time. So if I show that whole screen off at once, like that. Now we've done the hard parts. For this screen, you hold up, hug this wall. That monochrome, the Vermillimon doesn't move. This screen, hold up, go through this path, and you can just hold up left here, and then switch to left when you're high up enough. And now we're on the Mega Digimon screen. Again, 100 PP. If you do Mega Digimon before Machine Digimon, you will get encounters here. You can watch a video. It's super easy to skip those, or you can just do Mega Digimon after. And then we have our 2 last rooms. So here we've got Metal Greymon, and after we've got Machine Digimon. So no encounters to obviously worry about there. But yeah, that's it, I think. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry it was maybe a bit longer than anticipated, but hopefully this helps you guys. If you need any help, feel free to comment and let me know if that helped you. Thanks guys, peace.